Welcome to our 2025 quarter two Reams Town Hall. We have a few things that we're going to go over today. Here's the agenda. We're going to talk about some milestones. I'm going to give you our story analytics or story pulse tutorial. Um, we have an overview of Q1 features that we've added and tools in the past 3-ish months. And then we have upcoming features. We're going to dive a little bit into what those are, including what shelves are, libraries are, and our social aspects we're adding. And then we'll have a little time for Q&A. So I'm thinking that this meeting is going to be about 30-ish minutes, but I'm good if it goes over that. I'm happy to answer all the questions you guys have. All right, so to start, some of the milestones that we've already hit in 2025, Q1 is we finally have a group name or a group community name, especially among authors. Everyone voted, and the majority of people wanted to be called Reamiverse. So that's what we're going with, and that's how we'll communicate with you guys through our emails. We do them weekly, sometimes a couple of times a week, but you guys are now the Reamiverse, which is super cool. We've hit over 100K readers, and that was I want to say like a month or so ago, so we've added more since then. We have 10K authors, which is super cool, and over 15K books on Ream. Those are huge accomplishments, and I'm super excited, and I hope you guys are too. All right. Next, we're going to go into Story Pulse. So this is a new feature that we've added, and I'll get into kind of what it is, but it is honestly one of the most powerful tools authors have on their fingertips on Ream currently. At its core, Story Pulse, our story analytics feature, is about reader behavior. It's real-time analytics designed not just for kind of the corporate publisher, but specifically for fiction authors who are doing indie publishing like you guys. Imagine not guessing anymore what readers are getting hooked by, where they're losing interest, and how to adjust your stories to keep them glued to them. That is what Story Pulse does. So let's kind of get into all the information and all the data that we give you. So when you go to your Stories tab on Ream, there's two tabs at the very top. One of them says, I believe, Stories, and the other one says Analytics. If you click on Analytics, you first are going to see how your readers find you. And this is basically where your readers are coming from. We list pretty much all the places. This is a screen grab from my profile or my analytics, I think last night. And so we see that we have, or I have the most people coming in from Ream's homepage. I have 4.2 thousand. We go further down the list. I think this was a list of probably like 20 or 30 places that people are coming in by, but it tells you the URL basically where you're getting the most traffic. Okay. Next, let's go further. This is a made-up book. So I'm going to kind of dive in to what Story Pulse actually does and how it helps you grow your audience and grow your readership so you have that more strongly, really engaged community. So this book is called Blackmailed by the Mafia Boss. We have a user retention table. And this user retention table is basically going to give you all the data you need to see a bunch of different stuff. So what Story Pulse actually does is we're tracking where readers stop reading, and we're calling these drop-off points. You can literally see where your readers are falling off down to the very chapter, and even, you can see like where the memberships are growing, stuff like that. So we look at the chapter number over to the left. We see chapter 1, it has 3K views. Chapter 2 has 2K views. So we're losing about 1,000 people from chapter 1 to chapter 2. That retention is the retention percentage. So 66% of people who started chapter 1, read chapter 1, it has continued to chapter 2. And so you can see that those numbers are, changing as the book goes on and on and on. So if it were me, I'd go in there and see what can I change from chapter 1 to chapter 2 to make it stronger so I have a higher retention. We are also giving you kind of this real-time feedback on how readers are engaging with your stories. So there's no more waiting months for a review or even just waiting for comments. You are getting these signals as soon as readers interact. And interacting means reading the book, or reading chapter by chapter. It also shows kind of completion rates for these chapters. And so you can tell which stories, which chapters are bingeable, which ones have really good cliffhangers, which ones might need a little bit of tweaking to kind of get those readers continuing from chapter 1 to chapter 2 to chapter 3. It also helps detect popular points. So this is really interesting. I was looking at my analytics yesterday, and I had one chapter that was read more times than a couple of the other chapters that were before it. And so this is showing that that specific chapter is more popular with readers. Readers are going back and rereading that chapter for some reason. And so if you can kind of pinpoint where those chapters are in your book, you can use that information and make your other chapters even better. So this helps you spot your gold moments to kind of use in marketing, like your ads or quotes or even your reels. And it also is going to benefit you in multiple different ways. So you're going to start writing smarter, not harder. You're not kind of flying blinds anymore. You know what's working and you know what's not. So you can use that analytic or that data, those analytics to make your book even better before it goes on to retailers. Next, you can fix your struggling stories quickly. So you're going to spot the weak points early before the book launches, or before your subscription readers churn out of your subscription. Boost reader satisfaction. Readers love when a story feels kind of like unput downable. Story Pulse helps you kind of craft those experiences by seeing which chapters are, really popular, what is working in those chapters, stuff like that. Strengthen your marketing. We just kind of talked about that. Grow reader loyalty, which is really important. So by adjusting based on this real solid data, you're going to create better stories, not just in this story, but in other stories that you have as well. And you're going to have your readers start to obsess over these stories and even, continue to pay to keep reading them. And you get a big advantage that traditional publishing can't really offer because big publishers wait months to see if a book is successful. But you're getting instant feedback from your current readers. So from your community, it might be a small percentage of your community, but those readers know which books, they like. And their feedback is going to be really helpful when you launch to a broader audience. So kind of like the big picture, Story Pulse is really about reader trust. So when readers trust you to deliver an amazing experience, they're going to stay longer, they're going to pay longer, and they're going to become your super fans. Story Pulse isn't about obsessing over every tiny little metric, but it's using really small insights to make big, meaningful improvements to your stories. And we know, especially with social media, attention is the most valuable currency, and Story Pulse gives you kind of like the map to create a stronger story for you and for your readers and for your community. So I hope you guys use it. This is one of the features I've been super excited about this past few months, but we have more features that we've also worked on the past few months, and we'll kind of dive into those now. By the way, if you have any questions, you can add them into the chat. I'll get to them at the very end. All right, so features added in 2025 Q1. We have images and ebooks. This was a huge one that people wanted. We've added those in there now. We have commenting within ebook improvements. So chapter comments were being deleted when you made an edit to your chapter. This has now been changed. So we have complete chapter comments. So if somebody has made a comment within the line and then you made an edit to that chapter, those comments will be pushed down to the chapter comment section at the bottom of that chapter. And we also have the ability for readers to hide inline commenting if that's not something they're interested in, but they have to do that on their end. You can't do it as the author. Discovery improvements, we started a free stories page. So I think somebody on the team, if you guys can drop that link into the comment section, that would be amazing. If you have a free book, we would love for you to apply so we can add it to this page and readers can find it. We've also added series, so make sure you're adding your series name and connecting your books in a series together on Ream. Specifically, you can do this on the details page for each of your stories, and this really helps readers go from one book to the other or to the next. At the end of every book that you have in a series, Ream prompts the readers to continue reading to the next book. Next, we have completion status, is the book completed or not, and story pulse. And I believe in this update, we also might have had the EPUBs. I could be wrong, but we uploaded EPUBs and stylized EPUBs too. So that means if you upload an EPUB and choose, hey, I want this EPUB to look exactly like it does in Vellum or wherever you formatted it, it will show up exactly like that. Okay, some Ream tools that we've added or we've worked on these past few months. We have the Ream Academy, which is a permanently free education hub. You can find this at reamstories.com/academy. We have, I think, 8 books there now, all about how to run your author business. We also have Ream Creator Central. This is at info.reamstories.com. It's an all-in-one site for powerful strategies and resources. And within the Creator Central, you're going to find the Marketing Lab. This is where you're going to apply for promos or your discounts. We have creator tools too. So these have been super fun to make. They're basically tools to help you run your business. So yeah, there's a bunch of them. If we can also link that down in the chat, that would be great. And then we have Reamy's Realm. So this is readers.reamstories.com. This is where your readers are going to go for kind of like the ultimate reader hub. This is where our Ream raids are hosted, free books are hosted, all that fun stuff. Okay. Now for the fun part, we're going to talk about our upcoming features. So we have shelves, social profiles. We're making the website more app-like, direct sales, and print. So some of these are further on in the year. So direct sales and print are going to be kind of later 2025. But we are working on shelves and social profiles right now. So let's talk about what are shelves. So I'm super excited to introduce you guys to this. Shelves are going to be a game changer for story discovery, and they're kind of looped in Discovery 2.0. So they're really great for discovery, reader engagement, and author marketing. They are going to bring kind of like the viral playlist style magic from platforms like Spotify, but we're going to make it for books. So Goodreads does this a little bit. I know a couple other websites have similar type of ways that readers can create shelves, but we're bringing this for readers and authors and really anyone who has an account. Readers want to find their next obsession faster and in a way that feels very personal, and shelves are going to help make that happen. So you can think of shelves as in like shelves in a library. So we're also introducing libraries which are personalized. They're basically a way for you to organize your books or readers to organize their books. You have private libraries or shelves in your library, and you can have public shelves in your library. And shelves are curated collections of books, stories, or episodes created by readers, authors, or anyone on the platform. Again, let's think of them as kind of like Spotify playlists where readers can curate their own um, shelves and they can name their own shelves whatever they want. It could be like dark academy romances or books I would sell my soul for. Those can be the title, and those shelves will be able, or readers and authors will be able to search those shelves or search for shelves that they want. They're going to be visual, shareable, and personalized. Authors, you guys can also build shelves to kind of group your stories together. So if you have a bunch of paranormal romances that you want to group together and say, hey, this is my paranormal werewolf romance shelf, you can do that and it will be displayed. Um, Benefits for readers, we have faster discovery. So instead of kind of like endlessly scrolling through their For You page, readers can quickly find collections that match their mood. They might be in like a sad mood, a spicy, sweet fantasy mood. Readers can make whatever kind of shelves that they want. It's going to be a more personalized experience. Readers can build their own kind of tastes, their own shelves, their own profiles, and they can save them and share them with their friends, and those readers can share them with their friends too. There's going to be more reasons to engage and share. So saving, building, and sharing shelves kind of turns these passive readers into active participants on Ream, making them more likely to stay continuing to read the stories on the platform, including yours. And also, when readers see a shelf like, let's just say like books where the bad boy falls first, they're going to feel instantly kind of connected to that if that's what they like to read. And that emotional connection is going to make them more loyal to those stories and continuing to read as well. So for authors, some of the benefits, more visibility without extra writing. So your books can appear on dozens or hundreds of reader-created shelves without you lifting a finger. We also have easy cross-promotion opportunities. So collaborate with other authors to create shelves together. So for example, a bunch of RPG authors can come together and create a shelf that you all feature on your profile. This is going to drive organic traffic to your page. So every time a shelf is shared, your story gets more eyeballs on it, without you paying for ads, without you doing the hard, marketing, the hard lifting. We also have stronger branding for you guys too. So you can build very thematic shelves around your work. So this could be like stories with cinnamon roll heroes, kind of to show readers exactly what kind of experience that you deliver consistently throughout your work. More ways to market. You can have Save My Shelf on your Instagram or TikTok or wherever you share stuff. Really calling to action for your readers to do something. So save the shelf, build your audience kind of momentum around these books. And then extra reader loyalty, which we love. So readers who save your shelves, they're going to be more likely to come back to you because your books are constantly popping up on their shelves. They're constantly seeing your book on their shelf. Maybe your books are on multiple of their shelves. Because you're now in their own personally, curated library. All right. So also, shelves aren't just about organizing books, they're also about building culture around books and in your side of your community. So we have, shelves, like I said before, can be named a bunch of different things, whatever the author or reader or whoever the creator of the shelf wants. These can be inside jokes, niche interest, fandoms. Shelves can really create spaces where your readers feel at home, which is, super exciting. That's what we want. We want Ream to feel like a home for you and for readers. And now this means that your work isn't just a single story, it's going to be part of a larger ecosystem of stories that readers crave. Let's go back one. So those are shelves. We also have social profiles. So social profiles are basically going to allow readers to set up, create their own like profile. And they'll have a place where they can do like write a little bio, and they'll have a little tab for all their shelves and what they're currently reading, all that fun stuff. We also are making the app more, or the website more app-like. So we're going to have a little bar at the bottom that allows easy navigation to different parts of the site. So the homepage, your library, where you have all your shelves, where you're currently reading, all that stuff. And then again, once we get closer to direct sales and print, we can dive a little bit deeper into that. But I wanted to kind of give you guys a sneak peek about what's coming there. Okay. Sorry, I just flew through that. But I will jump into the chat now. I see we have a lot of messages. Um, Leland says, over what period for the analytics? Um, I bel I believe the readers, so where the readers are coming from screenshots. So I believe that period is from when we added that onto the website. Is that correct, Sean?
Yeah, so you can choose last week, last 30 days, last 3 months, last year, or all time.
For where readers are coming from, the URL.
Yes, for all of it, for your
Okay.
story pulse and for how readers find you.
Okay. Sorry, that might have not been in the screenshot, but it should be, you should be able to change it. Charles says, if this follows a typical web novel pattern, retention drops steadily from 1 to 19, taking the bump up at 20, another at 50, and peaks if it hits 100. That's really interesting. I found that a lot of people, after my 10th chapter, people tend to either stay or leave. So um, that's really, really cool to know. Bobby has some of those in the chat. Leland says, if I create series, does that become a topic I can tag for community posts? I don't think so currently, but that is something really good that we can add. So let's make a note of that. Um, so it'll be easier for you guys to organize community posts. That's a really good idea. Thank you. Um, Regarding pictures, Moonlight says, when I've tried adding, the text doesn't appear in the published chapter. Am I doing something wrong? Um, okay. Yeah, I would say email support at reamstories.com for that specific issue, and we can see what's going on. Um, Currently, all of my books are free, but on other sites, only one that isn't is on Pocket FM. Having a lot of, especially if you write serials, having the serials for free, somewhere else to kind of drive people in is a really good way to generate interest. Um, Are shelves something the writer needs to create and properly tag their books for them, or can readers tag your books so they will go on a shelf? Um, so basically, you'll be able to, as the author, add your books to a shelf. You don't need to tag anything. You'll be able to say, hey, I want these specific books to be on this specific shelf. And your readers can do the same exact thing. So they can be scrolling through Ream and they find your book and they're like, I love this book. I want to add it to this specific shelf that I've created before. And so they'll add that book to their shelves, and then that book, your book, will appear on that shelf on their profile, if they choose to have that shelf be public. I hope that makes sense. A book can be in multiple shelves, right? Yes, it can. Yes, so your book can be in as many shelves as you want. If you created the shelf, you can add it to all your shelves. If a reader created a shelf, they can add it to all their shelves. Multiple readers can add it to their shelf. Um, Yeah. Leland says, are you going to list shelves as sources for where people are coming from analytics, or roll that up to from somewhere on Ream? This is actually really interesting.
It will work automatically.
It's going to say what shelf it came from.
It'll work automatically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean says that it's going to show you exactly where they came from if a reader finds you through that. All right. Do we have any other questions? Does each shelf have a comments or talking section? To be honest, it probably will not when we launch it, but that is something that would be really interesting to add at some point, so readers can talk to each other through that. I'm going to write that down. All right. Yes, we love it. Um, the questions don't have to be about shelves or libraries or social profiles or anything. Any questions that you have about Ream, um, or, anything publishing related, feel free to drop that into the chat too. I'll wait a couple more minutes to see if any last questions come in. But if not, then I will release you guys and let you guys go write some or relax or get back to work or whatever you're doing. Awesome. Thanks. This is fun. I have to jump off for another meeting. All right. Well, I guess I'll wrap it up there then. If anyone has any more questions, feel free to send them to support@reamstories.com. Thank you guys so much for joining. I loved being able to share a little bit about what Ream's done and, where we're going. I hope you guys are super excited and as excited as I am. But yeah, thank you guys so much.